Alright, let's continue this. How many videos have we watched? 25%. Vlad, please. John, we can only count to 1. Everyone knows about that. How are you doing tonight?
No, he was as shy as me. I asked a friend to ask him out for me. We had our first date at the Odeon in North End. We went to see Risky Business. I had on my one best dress. Simon paid. He bought me a Whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth.
Wait, it's not something.
No. We had our first date at the Odeon in North End. We went to see Risky Business. I had on my one best dress. Simon paid. He bought me a Whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth.
I'm doing alright. Finished watching Games of Thrones this week's episode. And I predicted, like everyone else predicted, that was going to happen. How about you? Claude, thanks for the hosts. I guess you couldn't find anyone to host on the Left 4 Dead channel? Finally got something.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
Oh, I see.
I hoover, I dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day. You know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. And last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Just like the woman from Mad Men.
Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. But he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened.
You killed him.
That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you.
41 seconds, okay. It's pretty short.
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It was just awful.
Can't complain about the heat. I live in Texas. It's like 110 degrees during summertime. I tried. Oh yeah, we did that.
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one. Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back. Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Did I type Diane? No, I haven't. Oh God.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
Oh, she's gonna play a song. How nice.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane. I mean, not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
I don't know what fennel is, but I got an achievement, so... Ah, pfft.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to come back and stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment.
Simon.
Just the two of us.
From Cry Fear.
We spent the
Same
wedding
Simon.
night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Running out of stuff to type.
Ask the hospital.
Great. Thanks for info.
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital.
Here we go.
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
Pretty sure I typed in mirror. So anyways.
Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember well I went over the river. And then there was a church. There. Yeah. And I probably parked. Well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There. We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
Okay, let's see. Ah, here's one.
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids.
Don't poison the kids. You're right, Brad. That was her.
So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
Brad, you're a suspect too, you know. I mean, come on. Brad. Bam, you're in here. These are not it. Ah.
At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I didn't.
Nice.
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
Snake here. Achievement unlocked. Expressing my individuality. Blah, 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 blah.
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
Hey, Bone. How are you doing today?
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there.
Watching you sing.
Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Bone, when are you gonna stream more Donkey Kong? Seventeenth foul. Yeah, but you still got the N64 and GameCube had one, and a Wii, and a Wii U.
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
That's true. I mean, emulating a Wii game is a bitch also.
No, I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months.
Damn.
We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Yes. It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about the mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since. Silverleaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection. Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one.
Is she talking about her twin?
One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
For science.
Well, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. That's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
It's just a mirror.
No, I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
Oh well. Ah, got something.
I don't know if anyone really changes. You just become more yourself. Simon was my prince, and that hasn't changed. And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet. Even then, he had a sense of craft. Wasn't just running around like headless chickens most of the time. And that look.
Oh, got something here.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour? Yes. I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him.
And then one day he cheated and you killed him.
Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real-life fairy tale. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it.
Oh.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again? Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Hair. Okay. Probably found hair that matches hers.
What kind of hairs?
Oh god, she's gonna play.
You want me to play something?
Fuck.
I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
Yep, it is a good way to stop. All these achievements that I'm unlocking.
Yes, I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
Maybe sleep is another keyword I should type in.
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
That song is only slightly better because I fast forward to the end. Hey, Leaf. How are you doing tonight? Ah.
Mum and Dad never knew what was going on. We got so good at it. We were so in sync that we'd use each other to cheat. If one of us had a hangover, the other one would go to school. Whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There were lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at.
Cheaters? Nope. Okay, I guess past tense words is also a thing.
No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon.
I thought that if I typed in cheat, it would find all videos with the words cheat or cheats or ed or whatever. I guess not.
Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday.
Got your ceremony tomorrow? Nice. Go get some steak afterwards.
You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead.
Yes.
But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs?
What? It's all part of the question.
You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing? It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
Oh, you can't stop right there. Tell me about this Oxford. Upscale burger joint. Ooh, that sounds good.
There was a conference, something to do with double glazing, in Oxford. Are you sure? What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar. Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again and there he was. And again the next week. He offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
Man, it must be exhausting for this actress. Record all these dialogues.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
Oh man, speaking of conferences. One time I went up to Austin just to visit my friend and we went out to grab a couple of drinks. And at the same time during that weekend there was a conference going on. I think it's like a the Uber driver told me it was like makeup conference, beauty product and makeup conference. So you have a whole bunch of saleswomen in the conference. Blah 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 blah. What am I thinking? In the convention center, and as we're out late at night drinking and finding an Uber driver, we saw two of these probably like late 20s, early 30s ladies just shouting at each other, and it was. I knew they were gonna fight in the streets, but by the time they were going to do any of that, my Uber driver came by and we drove off.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
What was the last one?
The baby. Call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana.
Alright. It's a bit better, but still halfway to go.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think.
2 seconds.
Do you have children?
Oh, 3 seconds. Not too bad.
Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
Pointless video.
No. No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf.
Here we go. Oh, not too bad. Well, I'm actually stuck. I have used up every single word that I could think of that I wrote down this notepad here. Let's see. It's like 61 Simon search results. MVM, Supergirl, Killer, Kill, The Rock, W. Helen, Dwayne Johnson. Time to guess. That's 164, obviously. For pregnant. The thing is, I'm only limited to able to look through the first 5 clips in here. Ah, shit. Leaf has 1. Alright, so Baby has 17. Mirror has 11. It works.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me.
Oh, that's a good idea, Bone. I should do that.
They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off. It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up.
Pretty much.
We bagged up the broken mirror,
And hey, Joe.
her clothes. They're gone.
How was Overwatch?
We took him down to the cellar. We had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later.
Let's go back.
We took him, her clothes, they're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
Is this the last video? I think every time we find something important, it shows a little reflection of us, or Ghost of Simon. My mom. You can always come back again. I'll be outside, log off, and meet me over the road. Apparently? It sucks that I can't click on these individual green rectangular things and see the previous video. See the video that's listed here. So the question is, do I actually want to go through and let me see. Guess 25, at least 25, 50 videos. I mean, I guess we kind of found the idea of why she did it, right? Something about One of them, however, did sleep with him, and your mom got mad. And then one day, all three of you were arguing, and she broke the mirror because it was the same mirror that he presented to the other lady. And she thought, like, oh, there's nothing special about it, so she broke it. So they started yelling. He hit her, and so she took a piece of the mirror and slit his throat by accident. And that was it. Hey, Buckhammer. This was a game called Her Story, where you interrogate a person, and you find out what her story was about her dead husband. No, I want to get out of here. Alright, now what? Should I play more Street Fighter? Should I play more Killer Instinct? Should I just do some random Left 4 Dead? I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at this. Let's see. A couple horror games, a whole bunch of multiplayer games, stream Twitch games. Man, it's so easy just to stream Street Fighter right now. Or I should call it a night. Nah, you know what? I'm just gonna call it a night. It's pretty late anyways. I should have streamed earlier, but I was busy doing a couple of things. Too late, Bone. It's too late. I recalled it. Sorry, Leaf. I'll probably do something tomorrow. But yeah, that's one game off of my list out of 500. Hey Melon, you missed a stream. I'm calling it a night. It's time for you to stream. What? Okay. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I need to take a break really quick. Let me go grab a glass of water, and I'll be right back. In the meantime, I'll just put up some random songs. Alright, I'm back. So, I was gonna stream Street Fighter, but I gotta play these games so I can delete them off my hard drive because they're taking up a lot of space. So, I might actually do... Let's see... about the same size. Let's try this, fuck it. I'm gonna restart the stream, so